You say that I glow below the waist in the stroke.
What you doing over there, Bert?
New discharge pipe.
So Berger is upgrading charge pipes from the stock small Vortec one over to this big charge pipe here. Big thanks to Rob Stevens for hooking us up with this. He gave it to me at Ford Takeover for Berger, and this is going to help him out a lot here. So we just got to get this thing to fit. So it might go like that. If not, we may have to have an adapter. We may have something laying around. But also he's doing that, and we have the wiring upgrade right here, which guys, you can pick this up from LMR. This thing is what you need if you're going to be running these big pumps. Okay, so we'll go through the process of installing that here in just a few minutes. All right, guys, so here's how you're going to do your wiring upgrade. Just lay everything out on the floor. All of your relays and everything like that's going to be up front. This thin wire, this thin red wire is your trigger wire right here, so that's just going to go to whatever controls your fuel pump in the car. The Terminator X is already preset for its amount of time that it runs. If you didn't have a Terminator X and you wanted to do this, you would just tie it into the signal wire that goes into the relay under the seat. Up here is going to be your power wire, and then your ground, not positive like I thought earlier. So that's your ground. That's it. So
Circuit breaker on.
Yep. Got a little circuit breaker on it for those of you who are wondering about safety. That's why you're paying so much money for this. Plus, I don't know if you guys have looked lately, but you know, wire is expensive. Right back here is going to be the wire that goes into the top of your fuel hat. Now you got a couple different ways to do this. You can put it right into the top of the plug and leave it that way. I don't recommend that. I recommend drilling holes in the top of the hat and running it down through there with some grommets. That way everything is wired up. Now, if you do that, you're doubling the time of this job. This job's probably, what, 45 minutes long to do if you just upgrading to the plug. But if you're running something like a 450 or bigger pump, I recommend you go ahead and go down through the top of the hat. So therefore you have to pull the tank and all that. All right, I typically just put the relay back here like this. Your breaker's gonna end up about right here. Your ground somewhere up in here. And then your positive right there, all right? So now you've got all of this you got to deal with. The best thing to do here is to go through the firewall. There's a little black boot you can put a slit in. Right? Yeah, right there where your main harness, your dash harness runs through. Put a slit in that, and this is a good spot to come through with your wires at. I'm probably going to struggle with this for a few minutes, so we'll get back to you guys once we get this through here. Be careful because your harness is down there. We did touch ours, but I think we're fine. Just be careful if you're poking something sharp through there. You can mount your relay right up here somewhere, or you can actually just leave it loose. It doesn't really matter. Circuit breaker the same way. It'll kind of just chill down in there. All right, so once you come through the inside of the car, all your stuff's gonna be hanging out like this, right? You're gonna take your thin red wire right here. So you're gonna grab your trigger wire, which should be this, and put it here, and that way, or whichever side it is, and that way it sends the power out. All right, so we got our two wires cut down here, and we want to show you guys what you can do to test to make sure you're on the right wire.
You want to test the wrong one?
You want to test the wrong one first. So here's the green wire, and cycle it on, nothing happens, right? All right, and then we got this end of the wire. Watch, and it'll time out. There you go. That's the right one. So the timing on this car is set. Fuel pump timing is set with the Terminator X. But either way, it doesn't really matter if you have a stock computer. You got to find the wire down here that comes on with key on power and then times out. You're bypassing all of your factory relay stuff. So your factory harnesses run through this relay. Remember guys, we got a new relay with all new wiring. We just need a signal wire to trigger the fuel pump. So that's all we're doing here. All right, we want to show you real quick like how to test your wiring once you're done before you go too far and go hooking all this crap up and drilling holes and stuff. So the best way to do it is just go ahead, if you've already terminated, so you're already hooked up to the battery, ground it like that. Perfect. But from here, just going to run it either under the car, you can do that, or through the interior. We're going to run it through the interior and come down through the top of the tank in the car. And I'll show you guys how to do that once we get there. Update time. Let's see where we're at. Berger's got everything run down. What we did here is in the back, we just lifted the seat up and then come up through these panels, pulled it through the hole, and then regrouped, pulled it all through here. And this is where your new cable comes out. Same spot as the factory harness. So as you can see, this is our new harness. We just popped a hole in the top of this plug, and all the new wiring is sitting down there on top of the tank waiting on us right now. So he's going to button all this back up. We're going to get the interior put back together, go ahead and get the car in the air. So for those of you who are doing the wiring upgrade, here's what I recommend. Don't use the stock plug. You can, if you're running like a 340 or something, that'd probably be okay. If you're running these bigger pumps like a 450 or something, let's go ahead and get rid of all this wiring and come down as low as we can to the pump and add some thicker gauge wire. So here's how we're going to do this. These little brads, or these rivets right here, we're going to drill those out, and we're going to create 2 holes in the top of this, here and here. That's where we're going to push our wire in through. Just to make sure the wire doesn't get cut, we're going to put some grommets in there. So you're going to have to go a lot bigger than you think. It kind of sucks because you're going to need these. I think it's this size right here. So that's a pretty big hole, but it's what you got to do. Now I might be able to pull it. Yep, there we go. So those are the 2 holes that are already in here anyway. They're existing holes. So what we're going to have to do is play around with the bit size so that we can get the grommets, because you don't want to run your wire through here obviously and have gas possibly spewing out of the top of it. So you need to make it as tight as possible. And these grommets, although they look like the same size hole, and they pretty much are, this is not even close to fitting in that. So this is going to have to be drilled out quite a bit. So here we go, guys. Let's give you an update. We changed some stuff up and we went beefy, and I like it. So hold this and we'll show everybody what we did here. All right, so we come in with some bullet connectors for RC cars. So these are a gold-plated bullet connector in here, right? And this is what they look like. They're high current. This is, if you guys deal with brushless RC cars, draws way more current than this ever does. Right here, and it's all soldered, and we made a custom pigtail here so that the car, now when we plug it in, will have very high current connectors. So the connectors will go like that and line up and be staggered across from each other. That way we got a good disconnect point underneath the car. So that's how they're soldered up. And then you just apply some heat shrink. Considering we're under the car with gas dripping here, we're not going to use open flame, so we're just using this little heat gun. Let's push it up. First time we're connecting it up using RC car connector. Should be a nice tight fit. And obviously we reverse the connectors around so you can't make a mistake and put them in the wrong spot. Look at that. Oh, that ain't coming loose, homeboy. It's badass, man. What you think?
I like it.
I think that's
a lot.
Yeah, I think that's a nice setup, man. That's heavy duty stuff right there. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get this thing back up and see if it all runs and works. So these connectors up top, if you ever catch yourself in a situation where you don't have the clips anymore, here it goes like that. So you can use zip ties on both of these connectors if you don't have it. Now we have one connector up here, the little white one. So that'll go back in. But if you're missing that, you can use a zip tie. We actually are missing a connector on the other. All right, so what you got to do here is come in.
Oh, I can't see nothing.
You want to come in underneath that tube right there, underneath it like that, and then zip tie it up. And this thing cannot go anywhere. So if you've got the right connectors, use those. But we don't have them, so. Man, we need to talk to them about some of the new shit that's coming.
Yeah.
Maybe give them some hints, right? So I told you guys that we had something big coming for Burger's car, and it happened. We did it. Man, your car is freaking rolling, by the way. I mean, like, this is serious talk. I rode in it that night when Andrew broke, and it is a different car now. So Andrew's gonna have his hands full. But guys, things are probably seriously about to change for both cars. Actually, for 3 cars.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that for now. How about that? We'll leave it at that. You already know what you want. I already know what I got. And Andrew knows what he wants. Shit's about to change. It's about to get real. And sometimes it just works that way, right? You know,
Might be having another one come in too.
Might have another one coming in. So it might be 4 completely different setups than what you guys have ever seen on the channel coming soon. And 2 of them are going to be crazy. Crazy setups. So anyway, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and pop this thing in. See if it works.
This is a tight.
Ooh, you finally said a bad word on the channel.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you. We're going to take the supercharger off and clock it. So
It needed it anyway.
Yeah, it needed it anyway because this tube's a little shorter. It'll put it more in line with this. So we're going to take this off and loosen up the supercharger. It's just like a turbo. You can spin it, its housing, right here on these little Allen heads. Berger, where's something's missing, man? Where's your damn air filter at, bro?
No. Too much power, man. It's something up in the motor. Sounding you like rev it up and hell yeah.
All right, well, max airflow, baby, max effort. So we're gonna take this supercharger off. Oh yeah, your bearings going out and everything.
Yeah, is that Titan belt?
It's just screwed. Yeah, it's a piece of shit. I think you need to just sell it. On these superchargers, you want to loosen all of these up, and then you can twist the whole thing, believe it or not. So
Shouldn't. I wouldn't think. We'll see.
my boy and his supercharger. So all he did was loosen this up and just twist it around. We kind of forgot to video that part, but pretty easy. These things are light too. Look, he's holding this thing with one hand as he about drops it.
It's heavy, man.
It's heavy. Yeah, we did some adjusting here. Kind of angled this out a little bit more. We're gonna make it work for now, but he's gonna have to have some longer couplers right there. But we do have the big, large. What is it?
You say for now, it won't never get changed.
I thought you were gonna order some. No? Okay.
As long as it works.
As long as it works, then okay, whatever. If you ain't rigging, you ain't riding, I guess. Got some different colors going on. We had to kind of make do with what we had over here, coupler wise, but they may order a black coupler or something like that on Amazon.
Nakia wanted Auburn colors.
That's your color. You're the damn Alabama fan. Y'all all the same in my book. Oh God. Lord help us. No, here we go. Did the fuel pump sound good? It's a This is what we have to do every night when it starts to get late because this car is so freaking loud. He goes ahead and parks up there at the road. That way, whenever he starts the car up at 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, it's not so loud. So, oh, that car is ridiculously loud. You guys can't hear it on camera. That car is freaking loud. It's deep. It rattles everything in the house. All right, on to the 65. Like I told you in the last video, we got the transmission sent off to handling. Mr. Bangin' Bob handling himself is rebuilding the TKX. I even asked him to sign it for me. So we're gonna go ahead and push this thing in.
It sounds different.
Yeah. All right, let's get this damn thing in. Hey, that's part of the secret right there. That's it. That's all you guys get to see. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. And as always, thanks for watching.
Here we go.